Today we are taking a look at B.C Story, a minigame-based arcade game set in prehistoric times. You don't see many minigame compilations in the arcade, which is kinda surprising given their short game times and score-based gameplay, which would be quite a fit for the arcade setting. First off, this game has some of the worst, or best, English I have ever seen in an arcade game. Once upon a time, our ancestors introduced that lived erect a tribe to centre of greats a patriarch. The method of elect a patriarch is very peculiar. Then a volcano burst into eruption. Elect of a patriarch. Convention is open. The winner elected a patriarch. And then someday. Finally, the volcano burst into eruption, so many people compete. Very keen of elected a patriarch. At lost, a three-challenger lived final round. So what I gather from that frankly ridiculous attempt at translation is that a new leader is needed for the tribe, and these games are the way they decide who it is. Now with that out of the way, let's move on to the game itself. As you can see, the game scrolls through a number of different minigames that you can pick, so let's have a mini marathon and play them all. Before each game, a handy instruction sequence comes up which describes how to play. The first game is climbing up a vine. You have to time the button press to gain as much power as possible in each climb. I should mention the weakest thing about this game is definitely the music and sound effects. They're just grating at best. And what's with his voice? The graphics are fine. They have an anime style which is kind of appealing, but this type of stuff has been around for years by this point. The second game is one in which I find impossible to beat. You catch a rock with your hand and then proceed to raise enough power to fire it high up into the sky. However, I just can't beat it. Believe me, I've tried for a long time. The third game, you waggle the stick to push away two mammoths. I'm noticing a bit of a trend here already, either waggle or press. Not much gameplay particularly involved, and these games will destroy your fingers before long. The next is a basic running and jumping. You run, building up speed, and then jump over flaming obstacles on your path. The main issue with this game is the speed in which the fires come at you. You have such a small amount of time to react, you'd have to be an arcade god to beat it. Next up is throwing rocks at cute pink and green dinosaurs. Now I'm not just sucking here, it's really difficult for some reason to throw rocks at the middle and far dinosaurs. I kind of know how to do it, I mean it works half the time, but it's by no means exact. The sixth game is another running game, however this time there are no obstacles. You're not really racing against the other person either, it's just against the clock. This one's very easy compared to some of the others, but it isn't too exciting. The next exciting game involves smashing those dastardly dinosaur eggs with your karate chop fist. Fortunately though, the dinosaurs don't seem too bothered by this, and just run on out after you destroy their first home. Next up, you blow on a dinosaur's tail to see how far it will fly when it deflates. I mean, who the hell came up with this game? And how is this even working? Why is the dinosaur letting him do this? And how is he blowing air up a tail? Did I mention this game was made in Korea? Now I know why we don't see many of their games in the mainstream. Now, you build up speed to jump as far as you can, and then jump on the bird's back repeatedly. This game requires ridiculous timing, and I just can't get it down. It feels like most of these games were just made too hard, so you would have to spend more money, but it's not challenging in a way that makes me feel like I'm progressing, it's just redundant. For the last game we're going to look at is Sawing a Log. Yep, that's the exciting finale folks, and it just so happens to be one of the easier minigames in this game. So that's all for this week's folks. Overall, B.C Story is a fairly uninspired minigame collection that has some interesting moments, but nothing that would make it stand out. Make sure to subscribe and share. Bye!